Hey everybody, this is Ryan McClanahan with HistoryThroughCards.com. Hope you're all doing very well today. I was at a show yesterday and I found a dealer who had a lot of 1986 Flair basketball. As you guys can see here, I picked up what is perhaps one of my all-time favorite basketball cards from the 1980s. And I know I always say that every card is my favorite card, but when I was growing up in the 1980s, my cousin had a complete set of 1986 Flair, and I got to admit it's not my favorite set of all time, but I really, really like this particular card of Karl Malone. It is his rookie, and the 86 Flair set, to me, it kind of reminds me of the 1952 top set. As nostalgia goes and historical significance, because this is actually the first year of basketball since what Tops in 1982. So in 82, Tops did not get the license from the Basketball Players Association, and basketball was really, really difficult to watch in the early 1980s. A lot of it was on tape delay, or sometimes they wouldn't even show you an actual game. That's how bad basketball was back in the late 1970s and early 80s. And I think that had a lot to do with the reason why Topps did not seek the license for basketball cards. It was just a very badly run game back then. But getting back to this particular card here, a buddy of mine had a complete, or near complete set, I should say, of 86 Flair. And I really don't have any of these cards in my collection. And I think I have like two stored away somewhere. I think Adrian Dantley is the other one and Alex English is the other. But they're both Hall of Famers, and this set actually has a lot of Hall of Famers in it. I think like maybe half of the 132 cards in the set are like Hall of Famers. At least that's what it seems like. Now when I think about it, I think it's actually 32 cards in the set are actually Hall of Famers, and you have about 12 rookie card Hall of Famers as well. And I wanted to go through some of the reviews of this set. Now, I tried actually looking for a review of the 1986 Flair basketball set in 1986 or 1987, and I just couldn't find anything. And I remember back then in 86 and 87, those cards you really couldn't get your hands on. Not because of the Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan rookie. I think maybe like one or two of my classmates actually did have the Michael Jordan rookie in the 86 Flair, but it was just supply and demand, and a lot of people said that you could actually find those cards everywhere. I never really did, and I was more into baseball back then. And I still kind of am into baseball. Baseball is my probably my second love, close to boxing. But as far as this set is concerned here, I really wanted to tell you guys a little bit more about it. And I did find a really nice article that kind of explains the set and kind of like where we are today with it too, because it does really remind me of the 1952 Topps. Is historically significant today. So here we go. I think you're going to enjoy this, guys. This is from Post-War Cards, September 1st, 2025. Oh, no, I got another date here, too, of July 19th, 2024. So I'm not sure what the heck is going on here. Anyway, a brief discussion about 1986 and 1987 Flair basketball print runs. And unfortunately, guys, I don't know who actually wrote this other than Post-War Cards. 1986 Flair basketball cards have become some of the hobby's most popular collectibles driven by Michael Jordan's iconic card number 57. But many people don't realize that the 1986 Flair basketball set was a bit of a dud on release and was treated as junk wax for its first few years. Because of this, many deduce that inferred evidence supports, and some conversations lead us to conclude that Flair printed the 1987 basketball cards in far lower numbers than the 1986 cards. In the following paragraphs, I'll share the current thoughts in the hobby about 1986 and 1987 Flair basketball print runs. Let me start by saying that all I'm trying to do is piece together some hobby history. Flair never released print run information directly. No one documented this sort of information, and the people who worked for Flair or other card companies weren't necessarily collectors who saved this data. It was just a job for a lot of people. Earlier in the decade, in 1981, Topps stopped making basketball cards because they were so unpopular, and boxes of Flair's 1986 release didn't sell well either, often not even going for $10 at retail locations, despite being sold directly to dealers for $9 or $108 a case. A collector on a forum noted that the shop owner offered him the 10 1986 Flair basketball boxes, collecting dust on his shelf for $5 a box. And I'm told that Flair also offered full value refunds for unsold cases. Other collectors and dealers stated you could get them inexpensively in high supply at shows over the next few years. Reed Carasota said that in the late 1990s, a Flair executive told him that they printed 250,000 of each card in the 1986 Flair set, or 6,400 cases. But based on really disappointing sales numbers, they cut the production rate in half for the 1987 set, and most dealers from this time believe something similar. Additionally, PSA's population report is a solid guide, as there have been nearly 5 times as many 1986 Flair as 1987 Flair cards graded. Of course, some of that disparity is based on value after grading, but that's a huge difference. Plus, at times over the past few years, high-grade 1987 Flair Commons have commanded $100 prices when you could grade these cards for $6 a piece. In an article about the 1987 Flair set, Steve Taft noted that there always seems to be more 1986 Flair around. One of the set registry collectors agreed, saying that for every box of 1987 Flair, he saw a lot more 1986s for sale. I also see a lot more 1986 Flair cards and boxes for sale than 1987 Flair. A while ago, I searched for 1986 Flair basketball with some filtering on eBay, and it turned almost 14,000 items, while a search for 1987 Flair basketball returned under 8,000 items. Knowing there is some overlap based on people writing 1986-87 in the title. I don't think the people are hoarding Flair product argument holds much water here. The hobby as a whole was booming by 1986, and there have been a lot of times when the 1986 set was pushing higher in price that would have induced people to sell. Beckett's first guide, the Bulls championships, Jordan's retirements and comebacks, etc. If a collector had the wherewithal to hoard 1986 Flair, they probably would have saved some 1987 Flair too. In the end, we won't really ever know how many of each set Flair printed or how many were returned, thrown out, or saved. However, the stories from dealers and collectors support the notion that Flair made a lot fewer 1987 basketball cards than 1986. The print run also tells us that the popularity of the 1986 set is primarily demand driven. No surprise, Jordan is the GOAT. We also shouldn't be surprised with 1987 Flair basketball's ascending prices over the past few years since they're more supply limited. If you've heard stories about the 1986 or 1987 Flair basketball print runs, please share them in the comments. And then you can go to Post-War Cards newsletter. I really liked that article. I thought it was very informative. And if memory serves me correctly, only my memory probably, I really didn't see a whole lot of 1986 or 1987 Flair basketball during those 2 years or growing up. Again, I wasn't really looking for it either. I do have a 1987 Flair Michael Jordan. I haven't seen it in forever. I know I put it somewhere, and it's safe from even me. So I do have a few other 87 Flair. I don't have any here to show you guys, but I do kind of like the design, and this one in particular, the design really doesn't do it for me. I have heard though that the centering on a lot of these is really difficult, and especially in high grade. You should see a lot of these in high grade centering, especially with the Michael Jordan here. I mean, I don't really like the Michael Jordan quote unquote rookie, and that's something too that is kind of a bone of contention for a lot of collectors, because you do have collectors who say that the 84 star is Jordan's rookie, and a lot of other collectors say that the 86 Flair is his rookie as well. I'd love to know what Victor, the rookie card specialist, says about that. Victor, let me know in the comments section below what you say. Me personally, if I'm a traditionalist, I'm going to say that it's the first photo of a player pictured on a card is his rookie. But that gets really muddy and murky. The closer you get to 2025, it kind of like blows it out of the water, I think, now, because, you've got like one player may have like 2,000 rookie cards. It's just ridiculous. So the question that I propose to you guys here is if you think that the high values and prices and the popularity of the 86 Flair have actually caused you to cross over to the 87 Flair set. For me, it has actually. I only have 2 cards in that 86 Flair set because the values have just kind of skyrocketed over the last couple of years. So it's been really difficult for me to actually get my hands on any 86 Flair. Plus, I'm not a big fan of the design. So that actually is big for me because I'm a design guy. The other thing too is a lot of price guides and a lot of other collectors and dealers and whoever believe that there's probably more rookie cards in the 86 Flair set than there actually is. A lot of the players actually have cards prior to 86, like Charles Barkley is in the Star set, and there's a lot of other players, including Michael Jordan, who do have they first appear in the Star Company sets from like 84 and then 85 or 86, and so the 86 Flair, those might not actually be true rookie cards. Now again, Victor, the rookie card specialist, if you are actually watching this, or any of you guys, let me know in the comment section. Again, I'd love to get your opinion on this, whether or not that the first appearances of some of these cards or the rookies in the 86 Flair actually do have the first appearances in the Star Company basketball sets. Getting back to this set right here, there's actually a lot of guides available for you If you want to go after the Jordan, there's some specific things that you need to look for. And actually, I'll talk more about the Jordan 86 Flare in another video. The other thing too that you might want to look at for specifically is recolored borders. Can be a problem, and usually like they can be touched up on the corners. And I think the corners have can get a lot of wear too, just because they're red. I really wanted this card, and I'm a big fan of Karl Malone. I always was, and there's a few other cards that I'm thinking of picking up in this set too. Couple Hall of Fame rookies. Akeem Olajuwon, I was always a big fan of as well, and I'll show you the back of this as well. But I think as time goes by, though, this set is going to become more and more of an institutional legacy or a historically significant set, comparable to the 1952 Topps baseball set, and just because you have more and more new people and young people coming into the hobby, and they see cards like this, and they want to get into it. And it's not a rare set, but because it has Michael Jordan's rookie, maybe his rookie, I think that it's going to attract more and more people to it, and we'll see what happens in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. But I would love to hear what you guys have to say about the 1986 Flair set. If you guys have any memories of these cards or this set, I really don't, other than my cousin actually having a set, and I think he sold it. I only saw it maybe once or twice in its entirety, and there's some nice cards in there. I'm not gonna lie. It's not really my favorite basketball set. That would obviously, if you guys listen to any of my podcasts here, that would be the 1971 and 1972 Topps basketball, and then the 61 Flair is a great set too, and 57's not bad. So I do love basketball as a sport. I love to play it, but these cards they're kind of growing on me, especially if you can find them in really nice condition. This is a near mint 7, and they've actually gotten a little more expensive over the last couple of years too, just because of the popularity. So again, guys, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this set, and I will talk to you in another video. Have a good one. Bye.